I do want to talk to you a little bit about some of the other news and notes that have been put out there, specifically Nick Khan doing an interview last week. He was with Stephanie McMahon, and he basically said that he encourages the creative team, and WWE encourages the creative team to not program for social media critics, but for the universe. Quote, we encourage our creative team and writers, like, don't program for that, program for the universe, not for a small portion of the universe who wants to criticize you. That doesn't matter. Move on. Put on a good product. The money will be there. The fans will be there. The results will be there. And I think that was proven out when, there was a lot of criticism about the speculation of a Goldberg return. But when Goldberg's music hit, man, people went banana, as Pat Patterson would say. I mean, I know this is preaching to the choir, but this has probably been the Vince McMahon way of doing things, the Eric Bischoff way of doing things for a long time. Don't, quote unquote, book for the internet. Where do you land on that?
These phones have ruined so much. I go to restaurants all the time, and I see a couple there of all ages. I'm talking about 20 years old to 70 years old. And you sit there and you see a man and a woman sitting there, and they're sitting there on their phone at dinner together. And I think, what a bunch of bullshit. What a bullshit way to go through life. Enjoy life. There's nothing. You had your phone all with you all day, and now you still have to have it at dinner when you're sitting there with somebody that you could be talking to and enjoying life with. Life's finite. We're not here forever. But I think what the problem with the phone is, this thing is so personal to people. All of a sudden it appears on my phone, and it says either one of two things. If it's a feedback about a wrestling thing. Oh, you're a bad guy. You're a horrible person. You're an asshole, or you're this, or you're that, or man, you're really getting over. You think, man, this is great, man. Did you see this? It's on your phone, so I think it feels more personal than just something that you're reading, say, on the internet. Even though it is on the internet, I understand that, but I understand what I'm saying. It's just you get it on your phone and you think the feedback. But I've talked to guys many times. I was sitting there with a guy one time, and he said, "Man, my phone blew up over this thing." I said, "Okay, let's go through this. How many people responded to this?" And he goes, my timeline's full. I said, "Let's count them." So we counted them. It was like 43 different people. And I said, "How many followers do you have?" He goes, "Like 1.2 million. And I said, "Really?" And I said, "Now, if there's an algorithm that tells you that these 43 people that responded equate to 800,000 people of your 1.2 million, I get that. There's not that algorithm. Maybe these 43 people were actually 20 people that tweeted twice or X twice, whatever you call it now. But people look at that, and it's outsized proportion amount of response and feedback and credibility you give to what appears on your phone. And I think that ruins a lot of things. And I think people have to put that in perspective, that the overall audience, Vince would tell you, we have a test case every single day we walk out there. It's called the crowd. And right away what's working and what's not. And because you get something here, I don't respond to people. Look, I'm the perfect demo. If I go to a show, I don't care about, if the ticket price is $70 or $80, whatever it is, I'm going to pay it, and I'm going to buy a beer and a hot dog. I'm going to buy a shirt and all this stuff. I'm not going to tweet anybody. I'm not going to send a note to anybody. I'm just either going to enjoy it or I'm not. I'm the type of person that you want to cater to. And we lose that sometimes because it seems so personal when it's on the phone.
Wow. I appreciate that perspective. I also want to ask you about something that maybe it was just said in passing, but man, I thought jumped off the page. And I know that you're in the circle, or used to be. So maybe you're a great person to ask. During that same interview between Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon on her podcast, What's Your Story? Nick said that he had only admiration for Vince, talking about his business accomplishments. And Stephanie is really quick to quip, probably his biggest nemesis is himself. Do you feel like at times Vince McMahon, like a lot of us, is his own worst enemy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's also his biggest advocate too.
Oh, for sure.
Vince believed in himself. Vince had, you understand, Vince wasn't a guy who came from money. His father promoter, but his father didn't raise him.
Right.
And he failed a lot. He failed in business in the 70s. He failed with the Evil Knievel jump. He failed with the Inoki fight. And then all of a sudden he goes to Cape Cod and he kind of learns the business, and he comes back and he has these the greatest success in the history of wrestling. I mean, everything we have, almost everything we have today is because of Vince. You know, he helped create the pay-per-view model. He helped create the closed circuit model. He helped create the over-the-top model that Netflix uses to this day. But yeah, Vince didn't always play well with others. He didn't suffer fools. And when people would sit there and try to talk over him, oh my God. I remember one time I was sitting there talking to him and I was pissed off because somebody I thought had treated me poorly because I was a wrestler, you know, putting quotation marks. And I remember sitting there talking to Vince about it. And Vince goes, listen, when you're in their world, you have to be, you can't take something that's said about you as a wrestler into that world. You got to understand, you got to make it on your own in that world. And I said, Vince, how would you feel if somebody just kind of treated you like an old wrestling promoter? And that's something, he bowed up on me. I said, you can't even stand me saying that term. It's so offensive to you. And it was, you know, Vince had this real, I mean, Vince didn't have a chip on his shoulder. He had a granite block on his shoulder. And at times he didn't play well with others. I don't blame him. I love what he did. I've seen him in so many meetings and different things where he would run some of these freaking Ivy League idiots out of the building, basically. Was it a right thing to do for business? I don't know. It was fun.
Let's do another question.
And by the way, I really love what Nick Khan said in so much of that interview. I mean, that guy is he is a rainmaker, man. I mean, that guy prints money. They are so lucky to have the team of him and Hunter together. I mean, and Ari and all these guys. But man, what a great thing that WWE has with Nick Khan. And I loved what he said about responsibility. Love what he said about problems, about how it's a shared problem. And I loved what he said about how they judge their response to their creative. I just thought Nick has a really good grasp on things.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.